Michael Irvin at the end of the set. And in the middle is the man fresh back from Las Vegas, Nevada, a man who could look at his wife on Christmas night and say, I have to go to Vegas. And she says, okay. That's all of our dreams and hopes and wishes. Kurt Warner is back here after a phenomenal game that was powered by KWS. Kurt Warner's suit. Oh, my word.
That was good. That was good.
Okay. This is why you were trending last night, Kurt.
You didn't have to say that. I mean, you could have just said I was trending and we would have been good right there.
Prom night. Annie Apple wanted that was why. Eli's mom is in on that prom night, patiently waiting for his rose.
Eli's mom.
During the rose ceremony. All right. That's just four of the thousands that had you trending.
I just want to say, thanks for the jacket. I appreciate it, Irv.
Well, I thought you looked great last night.
I figured you did. I mean,
appreciate it. I thought you
and I, we kind of see things the same way.
Yeah, you look great.
That's scary.
What a finish.
That is Christmas.
That is even scary to say.
That was right. That was
what a finish. That's the way we're starting the show, and we started off with the finish last night in Vegas. Derek Carr, despite having the groin injury the week before, went and he played very well, and in the fourth quarter, in a 16-16 tie, buying time to his right. 1st and 20. So what? Let's go up top. And Nelson Aguilar, who not only grabs it, but he is gone.
Everybody in Philly said, what?
That's a nice piece of running.
85 yards to put the Raiders up. Just 6, though, because the extra point, no good. Tua is benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and here's your Fitz Magic Part 1. Just flip it out to Myles Gaskin. Myles Magic right here.
Oh, boy.
To the boundary, and he's gone.
Incredible.
He's gone with less than 3 minutes to go. The Dolphins take a 1-point lead.
Magic.
But here comes Derek Carr back on the field. Derek Carr with 2.5 to go from his own 29. Why not put it up, see what happens? And what happens is laundry on the field. Is this a pass interference?
I don't like that call, to be quite honest with you. We've seen worse than that not get called.
So spot foul, and then do you have a problem? Well, I mean, sliding there gets you to 1 minute to go, but then you take the knee to take it down to 20 seconds, and I guess that might be 20/20 hindsight because Gruden perhaps did not see this.
The magic of Fitz.
I'm not sure Fitz saw that one.
Well, nobody saw that from the pocket, right? Fitz didn't see it. Yeah, that was a face mask. No look pass has been redefined. Gruden cannot believe it. That sets up the game winner.
Say it ain't so.
44 yards. Jason Sanders with the Dolphins pulling off a remarkable Vegas Saturday night comeback. I mean, the last comeback we saw was in Vegas. Like that might be, you know, in the movies. So you've got the AFC playoff picture. The Dolphins still the 7th seed. Had they lost that, the Ravens would be the 7th seed. And in the catbird 7 seed position of winning out and making the playoffs. The Dolphins loss means the Browns and Colts need some more help today to have a win and in scenario for week 16. Had the Dolphins lost, the Browns and Colts could have come in today saying all they need to win is at the Jets and at the Steelers, and they are in the playoffs, but not so
fast.
Right now. Kurt, you were there in disbelief like the rest of our country. And I'll give you the floor on what you saw last night.
I tell you what, I think it's awesome what they're doing in Miami. And we talked a lot on the broadcast just about the relationship between Tua and Fitz. And to me, the coolest part of this is I can think back to 1999. And Trent Green really kind of started that feel in the building at Rams Park that we could be successful. And I feel like Fitz really started this thing in Miami. And then you get benched and everybody kind of forgets about you as the young guy comes in and you make this run for the playoffs. So I love that Brian Flores is not afraid to make a change when he feels like the young guy is not quite there yet. I love that Fitz gets a chance to say, put a little stamp on this thing, that he's a huge part of what they're doing, whether it was the start of the run or whether it's how he's helping Tua or what he brings to that locker room. So I thought it was so cool that he got his chance to maybe put a stamp on their playoff berth by bringing their team back in that, most unlikely of situations. And I just like the dynamic that's going on there. And I like the way that Brian Flores uses them, Coach. I mean, nobody does that. Right? Nobody pulls out the young guy and puts in the old guy in relief and then goes back to the young guy over and over. but they're just doing something right. They're building something right. I don't know how far they're going to go if they get to the playoffs, but I really like what they're doing there.
This team is ahead of schedule with this rebuild. It's probably a year ahead of schedule, and it's about, you mentioned the dynamics. Well, the dynamics between the head coach, who has to make these decisions. That's what you get paid for, making the tough decisions. And communicating with those two guys. He keeps saying that Tua now is his guy, and he pulls them out of the game at crucial times for Fitz without ruining Tua's confidence. He says, you're our guy. We're going to go ahead and watch this guy learn, and Fitz does his thing. And a lot of people are going to say, why don't you just start Fitz? Well, because he's got the future in mind, too. He's got, hey, this kid's going to be a good one. And Fitz might have to come in again this year, but Tua's their starting quarterback. And Brian has handled that very, very well. And the two quarterbacks have handled that well.
Yeah, I guess we're always talking about the next Marino, but we might be seeing the next Woodstock right now in Miami. I mean, where there's a bit of a platoon at quarterback to get the team to where they hope to go. What do you do? Well, let's hit. I know you talked quite a bit about this on the post-game show last night. And you said you didn't want to talk about it, but it's too late now.
They gave them all kind of love, but I'm talking about giving love to those two guys you talked about, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Esteban. You know, and I love having fun with them and everything and messing with them, but man, just earn my respect. And I told him that on the broadcast last night. Big ups for what he's done. Man.
What do you do?
He's carved out his career.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you do?
What do you do? He's never been in the playoffs. You know he's dying for it. You saw what he's done now in both visits to AFC West. He almost pulled it off in Denver. He pulled it off last night. Do you start him against Buffalo when you have to win?
They do what they've been doing, Rich. They do just what they've been doing. And that's why, for me, I also said, I think Coach Flores right now just moved in the front as the front runner for Coach of the Year with these moves that he's making. This is serious business. He's not just making the right decisions. He's developing players, too. That defense was the last in scoring defense last year, and it came all the way to first in scoring defense. So it's not like, oh, yeah, he's just making decisions. I mean, he's developing players. He's just doing an incredible job. It's an incredible job.
I stay with Tua as well.
He already has.
Not afraid to do that, but I think it's the right move.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, and Fitz is the relief pitcher, all right? And Tua is the guy for the future, but he can do a lot more things with what they want to do.
He said, I trust Coach's decision. He says he communicates with me greatly, in a great way. So he says, I trust whatever he wants to do is the best thing for the team, and I'm all for it.
So the Ravens thought that the Raiders were opening up the door to the 7 seed for them in the same way that the 49ers did for the Chicago Bears yesterday, because the 49ers went into Arizona and repeatedly hit Kyler Murray in the mouth and picked him off in the end zone with 4.5 to go in a game that Arizona was in because Robbie Gould had an off day that you rarely see, and the Cardinals are now on the outside looking in if the Bears win today in Jacksonville. And Tom Brady, how does 668 passing yards in the last four quarters sound to you?
Sounds good.
And Gronk up top. Brady had his first career start on a Thanksgiving Day and mop-up duty in 2000 in the old Pontiac Silverdome, and now here he is back in Detroit as the first guy in the history of the NFL to play 20 seasons with one team, switch teams, and then make the playoffs. Nobody's ever played 20 seasons in the NFL and switched a team, let alone make the playoffs, let alone be 43 years of age and find Godwin here and Gronk there, and then Evans, and then Antonio Brown, and it just was just one after another. The hits just kept on coming for Brady and the Bucs yesterday, and it looks like the offense is going exactly where they want it to go at the right time.
Yeah, all their weapons contributed.
And his coach don't make the playoff. That's how you finish the story, right? The other guy. The other guy didn't make the playoff.
That's true.
That's how you finish the story.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I mean, I don't see the Patriots on the screen, but should I
but just to finish the story.
Oh,
just to bring yesterday in with today so we can prepare for tomorrow.
And the team that he left is already eliminated from the playoffs.
Bam, Rich.
Okay.
Boy, that's a full story.
Didn't know that's what you're looking for. 47-7 is the final, and TB12 is indeed all smiles. Didn't even play the second half of the game. So the Buccaneers are currently sitting in that 5 seed, visiting the NFC East champion playoff spot. The Saints on Christmas Day eliminated the Vikings and clinched the NFC South for them. Huge game today. Seattle can clinch the NFC West with a win over the Rams. The Rams can get in to the playoffs with a straight playoff spot with a win there, and that would set up the Packers to win the entire NFC with a win tonight. Stacey Dales is leading off our reporter whip around, ready for game day, presented by Gillette. Take it away, Stacey.
Rich, Aaron Rodgers will be happy because the weather is coming in Green Bay tonight. Temperatures expected in the 20s, but the real feel dipping to about 12 degrees. Wind gusts up to 18, 20 miles per hour, and a near 70% chance of snow. Head coach Mike Vrabel with the Titans said equipment will be critical on this grass field. His guys have to adjust to anything tonight. Right now, we are going to adjust and get you to Pittsburgh. Aditi Kinkobwala. Aditi?
Good morning, Stacey. Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger called a players-only meeting Wednesday. He told us it wasn't panic over this 3-game slide, but it was rather because the Steelers are in the playoffs, and the veteran team needs to tell the younger players about preparing for this stretch run, about what the playoffs are like. Of course, today, against this hot Colts team, if the Steelers don't right what's been ailing them, those playoffs may just be a one and done. Now let's say good morning to Tom Pelissero in Baltimore.
Aditi, it's been a long month for Giants quarterback Daniel Jones dealing with hamstring and ankle injuries. But Jones will start today against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens with playoff hopes alive for both teams. Giants tight end Evan Ingram told me Jones looks good, his energy's back, DJ's ready to go. Here's Jeff Tadia in Kansas City.
Thanks, Tom. Well, here in Kansas City, the Chiefs got good news knowing that Tyreek Hill and Frank Clark will be able to play in this game today. Both listed as questionable earlier this week, but still no word on linebacker Anthony Hitchens, put on the COVID-19 list. If he can't go, they'll be down 2 linebackers today.